What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. And you know, one thing's for sure when you see me, you know that the Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions and news pragmatic. We got a spicy meatball today. We got a spicy meatball, and I know I'm going to get in some trouble. In fact, it's already started. The trouble has already started. I have been getting some things in the chat, and the show ain't even start yet. And y'all didn't even let me get my ish off. Y'all didn't even let me explain to you where this information came from. I am not here to spread discord. I am not here to spread violence or hate or vitriol. I'm just simply asking a question that I found within an article. That's all. Okay? So you seen the title of the show. You see, I don't know if you can see what happened earlier on in the chat or if I can just see it or whatever. I'm not sure. But you seen all of that. And the show hadn't even started yet. People got opinions. And this is a divisive topic. Look, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. So make sure that if you are in the chat and you can't comment and you want to comment, make sure you subscribe, because that would be the only reason that you can't comment. All right? What up, those salty pork chops, man? He's starting a rumor. It is what it is. But before we get into this, I'm gonna let people get into the chat. I just have to share something with you guys. It's a Twitter interaction, okay, or X if you want to be, proper. And I just want to take the opportunity to let everybody know, because sometimes I like to talk to my chat, and a lot of people are older than me and everything, and everyone, older and wiser and everything. But, take the advice from where the advice comes, especially when it's truthful. I just don't want you to be that guy. Okay? What up, though, J-Rod? Salty pork chops. I just don't want you to be that guy. Salty pork chops, it's funny that you mentioned easy. Okay? Now, there was a Twitter interaction from yesterday, and I'm just gonna ask you guys a question. I'm gonna show you something on my phone, and I'm gonna ask you if you know what this is. Okay? Do you guys know what this is? As a Lions fan, you guys, I'm pretty sure, know what this is. Let me know in the chat what the picture is, where it comes from. Salty pork chops, that sounds like J-Rod. Okay? J-Rod and his Will Levis talk. All right, J-Rod. Yes, it's Barry Sanders. What is the picture? But what is the picture of? Okay, that's all. I just do you. What is that? That's an iconic photo now. Okay, I recognized it the moment I saw it. Yes, it's an anime depiction, but it's an anime depiction of Barry Sanders. Why was Barry Sanders getting carried off by his teammates? What happened at that time? All right. There you go. Put it right in the camera for you. Okay. What is the event that took place that led to this picture? Because we gotta get into it, man. All right. And if you don't know, it's fine. Here come K and Press. J-Rod, no, it's not touchdowns in the season. Okay, so I'll tell y'all, and it's okay if you don't know. Okay. No. So it was the 2,000-yard season. It was the game against the Jets when he broke the 2,000-yard barrier and they carried him off the field after this game. Okay. It is an iconic photo in Detroit Lions history. All right. Now, here is where the interaction started. And I say the funny thing is you should mention Easy because Easy posted this picture. He posted it, and a guy, I'm not going to say his name because, one, I don't want to give him credit. I don't want to give him any shine. Two, I'm going to call him all types of morons and idiots. Okay? Directly under this photo, this man comes in and he says, "Were you even alive when Billy Sims was playing?" Now, at this point, I should have known. Don't say nothing. I should have said to myself, Chef, don't say nothing. Or I should have said to myself, Motor City Don P, don't say nothing. But then when I said something, I didn't say it in an inflammatory way. So Easy replies to the guy and he says, "That's Barry Sanders, LOL." Okay. Then the guy shows a picture of both of them together. Again, I will cover his name. Okay. Let me see. You guys see that. Okay. He says, "Oh, I guess it does look a little bit more like Barry Sanders." What do you mean you guess it does look a little bit more like Barry Sanders? It is the actual anime depiction of the damn picture. Okay. I came in and I said, "It's wild. You asked him if he was alive, but don't recognize the iconic photo of Barry Sanders being carried off by his teammates after breaking the 2K yard barrier." Thinking face. Okay. I didn't say it's wild. You're an idiot because you don't know the difference between Billy Sims and Barry Sanders. I didn't go on the attack. I did not go on the attack. Okay. So then he replies, and I just saw this before we came on air. That's why I know, because I just saw it. He replies, "That's a funny way of saying, quote, hey guys, I have a podcast." What? Then he goes, "GTFO with your weak gatekeeping, iconic photo, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face." So I initially replied to him. I said, "You on some other stuff, dude. Good luck with your issues." But then I just said, you know what? I said this. Okay. All right. So I said, also, just check the search bar in the photo. For it to be the second photo that comes up seems pretty iconic to me. You can apologize or not. I don't really care. Okay. Now, what did I search? Can you read that? What did I search? Okay. So for when you Google something, and it is one of the three images that pops up, I feel like it's pretty well known, right? It's an iconic photo. Am I tripping? Am I wrong here? I broke my own rule. My own rule is don't feed the trolls. I just didn't figure he was a troll. I just figured he was a dumb person because he didn't know the difference. Like, you can't call yourself a Lions fan and look at a picture of Barry Sanders and think that it's Billy Sims. That's number one. I don't know how that works. All right. But that is what that is. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the topic, the spicy meatball. that we all came here to discuss today. All right. Was that supposed to say tweaking, bro? All right, we're gonna get into this topic that we came here to discuss today. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about one Jared Goff. Now, um, he doesn't have a podcast. He was saying that that's a funny way of me like I basically came in and said this to him to try to advertise the fact that I have a podcast. Not understanding that I know easy. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding that me and Enley and Enley, me and Easy are friends. Like it said nothing about my podcast. Okay, so because if you click on he clicked on my profile to see who I was and saw that I was the Motor City Cats guy and goes, "Oh, well, that's a funny way for you to put that out there that you have a podcast." Bro, I didn't say anything about my podcast. It was me replying to a dumb person who doesn't know the difference between Billy Sims and Barry Sanders, who claims to be a Lions fan, who asked another guy, "Were you even alive when Billy Sims was playing?" Billy Sims wasn't in the photo. He wasn't depicted. Because Billy Sims didn't get carried off by his teammates for rushing for 1,000 yards. Or 2,000 yards. Sorry. Kane Press, your trolling is immaculate. And we're going to talk about the Washington game. That's part of it. TaylorMade Medias. I know they both wore number 20, but they don't look similar. And that picture, maybe because I'm a Barry Sanders super fan, maybe that's why I automatically recognize what that picture was from, the game that it happened, all that. Or maybe it's because it is an iconic photo in Lions lore. Maybe. I don't know. You pass tweak. Chef, why don't you, Everything King, Dosa Dion, and that big guy start a Detroit Lions podcast when the season starts? Well, we won't start a podcast because we already have our own podcast, but I would be down to go on their podcast and have them come on mine as guests and things of this nature. J. Rod says they wore different style jerseys. Right. Right. And pause. J. Rod, pause. Okay. Get a little bit. I'm not going there. All right. So here's the thing. Jared Goff, in an article, okay? Because don't nobody want to use the part in the Discord, the channel in the Discord that says show topics, right? So I have to find topics. So the topic that I found was an article, and it's from, I think it's Athlon Sports. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Okay. So I just want to shoot out a disclaimer. This is not what I have said. I do not write for Athlon. Okay. We're going to discuss it. I'm going to read the article for y'all. We're going to discuss it. What do you think? What's your opinion? I'm sorry. Salty Pork Chops. Is Ohio State, do they play basketball? Did they get to any 16s or 32s or 8s? Did they get to any of that? Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just asking because I don't know. Donkey Kong. Okay. Good. I'm just gonna read the article. I didn't write it. All right. I didn't write it. I just want to let y'all know this. I have to give you the disclaimers. Okay. Uh, so this article comes from Athlon Sports. It was by John Vaccaro. Okay, we got that. Athlon Sports, John Vaccaro. I do not work for Athlon Sports. My name is not John Vaccaro. Okay. I just want to make sure now we clear. Okay, because I know how y'all get. I told you the chat already started lighting up even before the show started. What up, though, Tactical Sport? You missed my Twitter interaction. You go back and watch it after the show. It's like the first, I think, 10 minutes of the show or whatever. All right. Again, disclaimer. This article was written by John Vaccaro for Athlon Sports. The title of this article is that Lions Jared Goff is named among QBs under most pressure to win Super Bowl. Would y'all like me to show you the article, right? So that you know, I will put a link to the article, okay, in the chat. All right. So in case like Artur comes in here or somebody else who doesn't want to listen, Independent Aquaman, any of those people, if they come in here and they want to try to flame me, it's I didn't write the article. Okay? There goes the article. I put it in the chat. Okay? All right. Okay. So y'all can click on the article. All right. So it says Lions Jared Goff named among QBs under most pressure to win Super Bowl. Okay. Pressure has been building for the Detroit Lions over the past couple of seasons. In 2023, they proved that they belonged among the NFC's elite by nearly taking the San Francisco 49ers out in the NFC Championship game. All right. Point number one. The NFC Championship game loss was not on Jared Goff. Jared Goff did not contribute to the NFC Championship game loss. Jared Goff played a good game in the NFC Championship game loss. Jared Goff did not have any turnovers. He did not throw any interceptions. He did not fumble the ball in the NFC Championship game loss. Who did fumble the ball was Jahmyr Gibbs. I happen to love Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is my second favorite running back in Lions history after Barry Sanders. I was very young when Billy Sims was playing, so I didn't really know Billy Sims like that. Okay, but you see how I do love Jahmyr Gibbs, but I am able to criticize him. Okay, his fumble contributed to us losing in the NFC Championship game. He was a rookie. It was a mistake. It happened. He's still on the team, and I want him to be on the team for a very, very, very long time. Okay, are we clear? So clear, Jared Goff did not, and y'all know why I'm doing this. Y'all know why I'm doing this, because I want to make sure everybody knows, okay? Because you lose subscribers, you lose viewers, you lose everything, okay? So I'm just saying, Jared Goff had nothing to do with losing the NFC Championship game, okay? That is not, no blame is on his shoulders. Those passes that he threw to Josh Reynolds were on target. Josh Reynolds dropped those passes. They hit Josh Reynolds in the hands. Josh Reynolds got to catch those passes. Okay? The only one that was off target was the one to Amon-Ra St. Brown, which was like a scramble drill, and it was a desperation situation. Okay? And I don't blame him for that. He had to throw it when he had to throw it, and he had to try to get the best pass off possible, and I believe he did that in that situation. Okay, are we cool for that? Can I go on? Have I done? I feel like Stephen A. Smith when he talks about LeBum and he's like put the ticker up, great husband, great father, great philanthropist, blah 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 blah, and it still wasn't enough for LeBum. Still wasn't enough. All right, what up, though, Motown Mitch? Master Pimp Special Ops Back Daddy Dot P. I love that. I love that, man. It's so random. Uh, there's also really pathetic articles stating Lions should trade for guys like Crosby and Hendrickson, etc. Such idiotic articles. Well, I mean, we can't trade for Crosby for sure. Um, J. Rod says, "Is it just a visit? Yeah, it's just a visit. It's not a move back home. No. Um, if I was trying to move back home, it would be a lot more than $1,000. Um, okay, so we good. K ain't press says Bears gonna kick our ass next season with Ben Johnson trick plays. Okay, I don't think so, but we good. Okay, so that led to big expectations in 2024, and the Lions delivered during the regular season, earning a record of 15-2. Unfortunately, they fell well short of the expectations during the postseason as they were eliminated in their first playoff game of the year. Um, John Morton not doing any trick plays doesn't mean anything. Trick plays are not what win you Super Bowls. Um, All right. Now the expectations are high again for the 2025 season, and it seems they may put some added pressure on quarterback Jared Goff. CBS Sports' Jeff Kerr ranked Goff fourth on a list of quarterbacks under the most pressure to win the Super Bowl. The three QBs under more pressure were Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Okay. Now, so before I move on from that point, it says the three QBs under more pressure were Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Dak Prescott, there was a rumor going around that they were going to trade Dak Prescott to the Cleveland Browns, and that this was part of the pitch that brought Myles Garrett back to the table and led to him signing his record-breaking extension. Okay? Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen especially, because Josh Allen just signed a 6-year extension to stay in Buffalo. What does pressure mean? Okay. Does pressure mean if you do not win the Super Bowl, you are going to be gotten rid of? No. Not for certain players. Okay. Now, there will be a loud clamoring from the Lions fan base for the departure of Jared Goff if he is to go to the playoffs this year, and he is the reason that the Detroit Lions don't go to or don't win the Super Bowl. Now, I would not be one of those people if he got us to a Super Bowl, which is the first one ever. I'm not going to be sitting up here complaining if he throws a late pick or whatever. At that point, it's not going to be Jared Goff can't get us to the Super Bowl. And at that point, it's not going to be Jared Goff can't win us a Super Bowl. Because, yeah, we got there. We didn't win. Maybe he threw a pick at the wrong time. But that he got us there. You understand what I'm saying? He got us there. Has any other quarterback ever done that? No. Has any other player ever done that? No. The Detroit Lions haven't been to a Super Bowl. Am I making sense? Because I want to make sure that I'm making sense to you all. Okay? All right. Let me take a break and get to y'all. Motown Mitch says, look, dude, Vildor was an upgrade over Harris. Now we got Maddox as an upgrade over Vildor. So Lions are slowly but surely using that CB room. I would agree. 100% agree. I think Vildor was even an upgrade over Jeffrey O'Hell Nokuda. That may be a hot take for some of you, but Vildor did not give up touchdowns at the rate that Jeffrey O'Hell Nokuda gave up touchdowns. Vildor did not, and I repeat, did not earn the nickname barbecue chicken or burnt toast. Burnt toast Okuda. Now, let me tell you what would have happened had that been Jeffrey Okuda in that game against Brandon Ayuk. People are mad about the face mask, the ball bouncing off the face mask of Kendall Vildor. Do you know what Kendall Vildor had to have in that situation? Good coverage. He had to be in position. He was in position to make a play on that football. He was in position to intercept it. Maybe he lost it in the lights, whatever. It hit his face mask. And then it was a phenomenal superhuman play by Brandon Ayuk to dive over him and catch a ball that was careening off of his face mask in midair and be able to control it. Defense is stacked. I think the league surprise is going to be how good our defense is going to be. Um, I would agree with that, especially when Brad Holmes gets those edges. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Brad Holmes. Hey, edges all day. Edge rushers galore. Let me see. All right, let me pull this article back up. Pop this chat back out so I can see y'all. All right. Um, so we had some people drop out. I guess they didn't believe in you, boy. I guess they didn't believe in you, boy. Oh, no volume. Okay. Yeah, it should be there now. Okay, cool. All right. As I said, we had some people drop out. Um, what's the last thing y'all heard? Did y'all hear me say anything about Kay and how she's always pressed? She's always pressed, bro. Um, okay, so I said, all right. So let me just start back. Basically, I was talking about Kendall Vildor being an upgrade over Jeffrey Ohel Nokuda, and I believe that if he was in the game at that time, then that all that stuff that happened with Vildor and the face mask and everything wouldn't have been. It would have been a moot point because Mr. Ohel Nokuda wouldn't have been in phase and he wouldn't have been in position to make a play on the ball at all. He would have been trailing Brandon Ayuk by 3 to 5 steps, and that would have been a touchdown. Um, so then I was looking at the thing that Kay said about the teams that we blew out. They're going to remember it and everything. And I made the comment that she seems to be always pressed. Okay. She seems to be very pressed whenever it comes to the Detroit Lions. So maybe it's time to change the name to K is pressed. And Donkey Kong said that the surprise of the league is how good our defense is going to be. And I said that, yes, especially after Brad Holmes gets those edge rushers. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Mr. Brad Holmes. Go ahead and get you some edges. Tactical said that he was happy that our offense wasn't going to be running as many trick plays anymore, which is good. And yes. Okay. Tactical says, where does Washington have a better roster than us? They have a better QB than us. That's about it. They don't have 2 running backs and they don't have 2 safeties better than our safeties. We have a far better O-line and a better secondary than them too. Our only weakness is a player opposite from Hutch. All right. I didn't. Yeah, J-Rod is number 1. J-Rod's number 1. Okay. All right, they are trying to get me here. Let me just close this tab. Okay, so we'll continue with the article. It says, so I was talking about, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and all those guys. They're not getting replaced. Having pressure to win the Super Bowl doesn't mean that you are going to be replaced if you do not win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine the Buffalo Bills moving on from Lamar Jackson? Can you imagine, from Josh Allen? Can you imagine the Baltimore Ravens moving on from Lamar Jackson? To do what and to get better how? Okay? To do what and to get better how is my question. That's the only time that you move on from a quarterback, when you believe that you have a better option somewhere, whether he's on the team, whether it's someone that you're trading for, whether it's someone that you're going to draft. Okay? That's when you move on from a quarterback. Okay? So probably Kay left because she did say she was going to start doing some cooking. All right. So Goff has already gotten his first chance at a Super Bowl. He had led the Los Angeles Rams to the big game during the 2018 season. It didn't go well for him. He completed just 19 of 38 passes and threw an interception on the way to a 13-3 loss to the New England Patriots. The 3 points tied for the least ever in a Super Bowl. How many of you guys think that had we gotten to the Super Bowl last year against the Kansas City Chiefs, that Goff would have led us to 3 points? Show of hands. Okay? I don't think anybody believes that Goff would have led us to only 3 points if we had gotten the chance to get to the Super Bowl last year. All right. Afterwards, Goff caught a lot of blame for the loss. During his time with the Lions, he has proven that he is a much better QB than what we saw in that loss to the Patriots. There is only even pressure on him right now because he has helped the Lions become a bona fide contender. This article seems to be making a lot of sense. It seems to be saying things that I would say. you know, that's why there's the pressure. When Jared Goff got here, there was no pressure on Jared Goff. Can we agree that when Jared Goff got here, there was no pressure to perform? There was no pressure to perform because we had no roster. We had a bad team full of bad players who were not going to win us any games. It was the Fatty, Matty, Patty leftovers. And Fatty, Matty, Patty and the boys did not do a good job of filling out a roster. They would draft people like Jelani Tavai and Tease Tabor. They overpaid big contracts to Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers and these people, not getting us anything. So by the time Jared Goff got here, he didn't have any weapons and he had nobody on the defensive side to do anything for him. Now, my outrage with Jared Goff when he got here was partially because we were all right. Let's hope we're back and we don't get none of this again. All right, let me get back to the stream. If it crashes again, I'm just gonna call it. I generally don't have crashes, and I've never had more than one crash in one stream, so I'm not sure what's going on today. But we'll soldier through as much as we can. So Donkey Kong says Titus Young, Ryan Broyles. These were the type of people that we had. All right. So again, when Goff got here, we didn't really have the weapons. The offensive line needed to be improved. There was a lot that needed to happen, and then he was able to turn it around. Okay, when we started getting pieces around him, and all of these things. Let me find that article in the chat. I will just go through and click it from there instead of opening up other stuff. All right. Okay, so it says there's only even pressure on him right now because he has helped the Lions become a bona fide contender. When the Lions get their next crack at the playoffs, he'll need to do better than his 3 interception performance against the Commanders. Can that be argued? That's one question, because I've had people push back on me for that. I've been called a casual. So I just want to know, can that be argued? Does a quarterback need to not throw 3 interceptions, regardless of what were the circumstances of the 3 interceptions? Even if you say, okay, there were circumstances that led to that, is it okay to assume that a quarterback needs to do whatever he can for those circumstances not to come back up? Can I say that without being canceled? So Tactical says, no, it can't be argued. Okay. People will argue with me. People will argue with me because remember, go back to when I first started this and I said personally, outside of the article, I added to this that Jared Goff had nothing to do with us losing in the NFC Championship game. But 3 interceptions and a fumble, no matter how you look at it, whether you want to say aliens came down and took control of his hands and arms and that's why these things happen, that's fine. That's great. But he's going to need to get some alien protection insurance next season. Right? If you want to say he was sick, he had the flu, that's fine. That's great. Maybe get some Sudafed next season. I don't know. Okay? Whatever is the reason for any of that, we can't have those things and win playoff games. Okay? I was gonna talk about that aspect with Derek today, but Derek was not able to make it. Probably good that he wasn't able to make it if my stream was just gonna keep crashing. But then again, we would have been using StreamYard, so I don't know if it would have crashed anyway. I see what you did there, Tactical Sport. He says he didn't, but he had a lion's share in us losing the last season in the playoffs. See what I did there? Yes. All right. However, he has given fans plenty of reason to believe that performance was just an anomaly after 3 consecutive seasons over 4,000 yards and a 5th place finish in the MVP voting this past season. Before he gets another crack at a Super Bowl, Goff will have to go through a loaded NFC North and plenty of tough competition in the playoffs. But we all know that trophy will be the only thing on the Lions' minds heading into the 2025 season. So I think that this article is very well stated. I think the arguments that were made were very clear and concise arguments. None of this stuff bashed Goff. Would you say anything was bashing Goff in this article? Was this a Goff basher? I just need to know. All right. Because these are the exact points that I was trying to make to people like Artur and Independent Aquaman and these people that you just can't ever say anything bad about a person that's on the team. And it's not my job to come up here and give you sunshine and rainbows all the time. It's my job to be objective. Right? So when I'm objective, listen to what I'm being objective about. Don't just turn your ears off when you hear the name Jared Goff because you feel like someone is going to bash him and all these other things. And I freely admit I was a Goff basher. I was a Goff hater when he first got here because I didn't believe that he was anything but a bridge quarterback. And the bridge was burning in his first season, right? The bridge was burning in his first season. And that's what we were led to believe, not by Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell, okay? But for the people like myself who talk about the Detroit Lions, okay, there was this belief that he was a bridge quarterback, okay? Now, when they showed you that he wasn't a bridge quarterback and when they were committed to getting the pieces around him, when they were committed to protect him, when they were committed to getting him weapons, well, we saw the outcome of that. But then along the way, as they got him weapons and protection and all these other things, the defense kind of feels neglected. And then those same Lions fans that wanted to crown Goff would often talk about how badly AG sucks. Fire AG. Why? Why should we fire AG? What was the reason behind wanting to fire AG? We did all of our shopping on the offensive side. The only thing that we did really on the defensive side, okay, for the first few years was draft Hutch. Ali McNeil hit, okay? We didn't have corners. Brad Holmes tried to bring in, people like Cam Sutton and tried to put band-aids over the situation. And then just last year, he breaks down and drafts a couple of guys. Right? So this roster wasn't as balanced as it is now. And we still need defensive help. We still need someone on the other side of Hutch. We need that. 100%. Right? So I'm going to be objective all the time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm not going to sit up here and blow smoke up your butt, pause, if something happens that I don't believe. I don't believe that Jared Goff is a bad quarterback. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I want him on the first thing smoking out of town like I used to say. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that he's a nice guy. He can be my starting bench quarterback. I'm not going to say that anymore because the information has changed. And when the information changes, the opinions can change. Right? So for anybody out there that thinks that I'm somehow a Goff hater or a basher, you are sorely mistaken. I believe that you can get to and win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And I'm not going to make the caveat because, you got to have everything around him. Pretty much every quarterback is that way, except the elite of the elite. If you have Lamar Jackson and he doesn't have any receivers, guess what? He can use a tight end or two and his legs. And of course, he's got Derrick Henry. And they're going to run the hell out of the football. They got a stable of running backs. Right? So if Lamar Jackson doesn't have anybody to throw to, he sure can run, and so can his running backs. All right. So if we're talking about the elite supernova, burning white hot quarterbacks at the top tier, and they can make plays on their own, and they can create for themselves, and they can. Is Jared Goff that guy? No, not particularly. Okay. Do you need that guy to win? Well, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson haven't even gotten to a Super Bowl. Right? They've dealt with a less athletic Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes isn't the athlete Lamar Jackson is. Patrick Mahomes isn't the athlete that Josh Allen is. They've dealt with this, and they haven't been able to beat him. You know who has been able to beat Patrick Mahomes consistently? Jared Goff. Jared Goff. So he's 2-0 against Patrick Mahomes. So, yes, you can win with Jared Goff. You definitely can get to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And you can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Okay? Everyone else has to do their job. It's football. Football is a team sport. Everyone has to do their job. In the NFC Championship game, Jared Goff did his job. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson didn't. Josh Reynolds didn't. So we lost. Okay? In the Washington game, Jared Goff didn't do his job. So we lost. Okay? And we can't even talk about the defense, and the defense sucked, and all the injuries. That's fine. All of the injuries happened. But before that first turnover, when it looked like we were going to go up 14-3, if you were watching that game and the Detroit Lions went up 14-3. What do you think our chances of losing that game would have been? Right? If you say, all right, we're going up 14-3 here, and there are no turnovers on our side for the entirety of the game, what do you think the final score is? Detroit Lions a lot, Washington Commanders a little. Tactical Spark says I was a Fire Glenn guy until I really took a look at where we stood, but I wasn't a fan of using man coverage all the time. Um, yeah, I wasn't a fan of using man coverage all the time, but then when we looked at the adjustments that were being made, and then we just realized, oh, we just suck. Like our secondary, I mean, bless Aaron Glenn's heart. He came in here and was given Jeff Okuda. You know what I mean? Like if I was a defensive coordinator or a secondary coach, and I was given Jeffrey Okuda, I'd be pissed. I'd be very angry, and it'd be very difficult for me to do my job. So when you're talking about Jeffrey Okuda on one side and Jerry Jacobs on the other, or who else was playing on the other side of Jeffrey Okuda, right? Jeffrey Okuda was a rookie that was drafted number 3 overall in a place where he shouldn't have been drafted to play in a scheme that he didn't fit in. Oh, yes, also Will Harris. Yeah, we were trying to do man coverage with 2 Rugs and Will Harris. But also, what if you're bad at all coverage? Does it really matter what you do? Like if you're bad at man and you're bad at zone and you're bad at press and you're bad at, like you're bad at reading the short area coverages that are called your zones. If you're bad at getting your angle over the top to get to cover the deep thirds, if you're bad at all of these things, if you're bad at covering the middle of the field, if you're just bad at doing anything, I mean, at least with man coverage, especially if it's press man, you can slow the guy down with your physicality. And maybe that's what Aaron Glenn was going for. It's like, oh, well, let's just kind of try to out physical people because we're not very good at football. And maybe that was what it was. Well, I'll intimidate you because I'll be able to lock you down in man. I don't know. But we didn't have good players in the secondary. So this is why I was never on the Fire AG train. As it was said, it's been stated many times on the heavies, he was trying to make a salad with spoiled vegetables. Can't do that. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. All right. I wish my computer hadn't crashed twice, because now when we need to talk about the article and the outcome of the article and what everyone thinks, a lot of people are gone. Um, but in fairness to myself, I do kind of have to get out of here because I haven't worked today. So for me, it's Saturday. Um, all right, it's Saturday, so I should get to work. I was looking at there's a proposed trade for the Detroit Lions to land defensive end Bryce Huff. Before I get out of here, Is a trade for a defensive end before the draft something that you'd be interested in? That's all I want to know. I'd be interested in bringing someone in, but I don't know that if right before the draft, if I would want to trade anyone that would cost any draft capital, you know? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I do need to get to work. Having a bit of a late start today because I had some other things that I had to do this morning. But appreciate you for sticking through. Um, no, we're not trading no first for nobody. Really, right now, a first? No. It's not a first. But anyway, appreciate you sticking through. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I did not see them coming, and I have no idea why they happened. But appreciate you once again. Motor City Cats, we back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.